Hey y'all, my name's Bryant Young.
And Derek Chaney.
Here with the Decent Dads Podcast. Back at it, brand new episode this week.
That's right. Another good one with another good buddy of ours,
Yeah.
Aaron Owens. Man, he brought some good stuff today.
It was a lot of fun. He's a boy dad, he's a real estate guy, and he's got some interesting things going with his kids where he's starting businesses with them.
Yeah.
He's teaching them how to work with money. He's, just an absolute madman throwing softballs and stuff at his kids.
Yeah. Can't dodge a wrench, dodge a ball.
That's exactly right. No, honestly, you can just tell how much Aaron loves to be around his kids and how much he loves those kids, and it just kind of comes out when he talks about them. So I think you guys are really going to get a lot out of this one. It was a lot of fun for us.
I know we did. We got a lot out of it. I mean, how many times did we say, we're going to steal that idea
write that
from
down.
you,
We're stealing
right?
this. So we hope you guys enjoy this one. So I think we jump right into this.
Let's do it.
All right, Decent Dads Podcast. Here we go. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to the Decent Dads Podcast. We're here to tell dad jokes, drink coffee, and build a community of dads navigating fatherhood together. I'm Bryant Young, fearless leader, co-host, girl dad, and your friendly local insurance agent based out of Springfield, Missouri. And now, before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He's a 6'3" sophomore shooting guard from small town Missouri. He wishes he was a first-team All-American, but instead, he's the coolest co-host with the most. A fantastic father of two and the home loan expert. Folks, put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Derek Chaney.
Yeah,
How are you, Derek?
I'm back from vacay. You're re-energized or something here.
Got back from the tropics. Figured I'd get on my sweet Hawaiian shirt, even though I was in Bermuda, so that really doesn't go
close
together,
enough.
but whatever.
Yeah. Tropical's tropical.
Good.
That's right. Always.
I like the shirt.
I like the shirt.
I came in the house tonight.
Oh, that's not true. I told him, I was like, I like your shirt. Didn't compliment my shirt, but whatever.
Don't ruin it.
Whatever. But anyways, I'm doing great, because it's a good day for a good day.
It's a good day.
Got Hoppy Coffee.
Yes, we do.
Got another pal of ours on, a good buddy.
Exactly.
Mr.
Another good buddy.
That's right. Mr. Aaron Owens himself.
Love it.
Real estate mogul,
decent
decent dad himself. We're excited to have you on, Aaron. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
I know, like we said, we've known you for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Just hearing you talk about being a dad, having kids. You can just tell that you really love being a dad and love hanging out with your kiddos. So I'm excited to hear what stories you're going to share with us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we know you pretty well. Some people might not. So if you will, tell us, who you are, what you do. Give us your dad resume. Tell us how many kids you got, what are their ages, and which one's your favorite.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Depends on the day. Depends on the day.
And I've been
never
thinking,
easy to hear it, right?
I've been thinking about it all day. Like, I'm gonna come with something clever. Like, I don't know.
But then it's like, did you
Still
really
working
just
on it.
ask me that question?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Definitely times whenever one's your favorite.
Right.
So,
No doubt. Yeah.
No, so yeah, Aaron Owens. I'm a real estate broker and investor. It's kind of my background right now. I have two kids, two boys actually. Carter is 8 and Crosby is 5.
Awesome.
And just celebrated me and my wife's 14th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
So,
Congrats.
I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, snagged her before she, could get away. Really young, really
Locked her down
young.
young.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Good for you, man.
So yeah, 14
years. Holy crap. I
Yeah.
didn't realize it's been that
I didn't
long.
either.
Yeah.
Dang.
Kicking
Good for
our
you.
butts. Good
Yeah.
grief. We're over
Yeah.
here being excited about our 5 years.
I was going to say, we just hit 5 years. Ooh.
I tell you,
A long way to go.
It is crazy, like once you have kids, though, how fast. Like, and everybody
That's
says
true.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But the first several years of marriage is like you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can sleep in. You could travel on. Go to Walmart
Right.
at midnight. Like
Drop of a hat. Do whatever
drop
the
of a
heck
hat.
you want to do.
And then you have kids, and it's like, wow, we have been together for a long time. And like these kids have aged us. So
They've
Also,
aged
we
us.
can't do what we
Way,
want
but,
anymore.
you
We
know.
can't do all that we want anymore.
Oh,
It
yeah.
certainly changes.
absolutely.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Oh,
right?
it is 100%.
It's so
I would
worth
trade
it.
for the world.
Yeah.
Some of the things I would trade for the world, though, are dealing with my child's tantrums.
Oh, my
Which
gosh.
is something we want to talk about.
Yes.
And we talk about it every week, but let's talk about tantrum of the day. What do you got, man? What'd you bring with you? You have anything going on at the house?
Yeah, so my boys are 8 and 5. So luckily, we are moving out of some of the like irrational toddler, which you guys
must be nice. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I know. You guys are there. Trust me, it gets better.
Okay,
Thank you.
You say
Light
so.
at the end of the tunnel, you're saying?
Yeah,
We'll see.
This is like another topic, but I feel like for me as a dad, like I'm fitting into this sweet spot now with the ages. Like,
Okay.
when they're a baby and they're like, little, like I can hang out with them and that's, no big deal. But like once they start throwing a ball, going on a bike ride,
Yeah.
Every dad's
watching
dream,
sports,
right?
Like seriously, I'm in my sweet spot. But anyway, so my youngest Crosby, he is very particular on what he wears, and I've heard you guys talk about that on the show before. But he literally wears the same outfit every day. Like
Really?
What's the
every
go-to?
day. So he wears a Chiefs t-shirt,
Nice.
Michael
Can't blame
Jordan
him.
basketball shorts, and Nike shoes with his Jordan socks. Like literally
Okay.
every day, which is not
Very
bad.
specific.
Like,
Yeah.
At least he's matching up his brands.
that's in colors, all that stuff.
That's true,
But
yeah.
that's been the biggest thing. Like he's very attached to like the clothes that he wears. So we have had a lot of times recently where it's like, all right, we're going to go somewhere and we actually want you to look decent. So like, you can't wear that,
Right.
know? And he throws a big fit about it. So
Have you
we're
figured
working
out,
through
like,
that.
can you put slacks over his Michael Jordan shorts and a button
If
down
you can think of
over
it, we've
the
tried it.
t-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've tried bribery.
I
We've
was gonna
tried
say,
everything.
what happens when it gets dirty? What do
You buy
you,
30 pairs.
you
of
have to wash them before you can
right.
leave the house.
Okay,
Is that
so
the
here's
thing?
I guess here's some wisdom. So for the longest time, we were just like appalled.
Yeah.
Like our son is going to preschool like every day wearing the same thing. They're going to think like, we're
Something
Right,
wrong with
yeah.
us.
And
This is
we
the only
would
outfit he
fight,
has.
and we would fight on clothes, and it'd be a knockdown, drag out. And finally, maybe it's wisdom. Maybe he just wore us out. We're just like, we don't care. Like,
I give up.
You do you.
Like in the grand scheme of things, 10 years from now, we're gonna look back and laugh at this outfit.
Oh,
Like,
right.
every picture he's in is
100%.
the same outfit.
Yeah.
And he's
it
gonna
really
get to
has
live that down.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have seen some growth out of that. And
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah, he's pretty particular.
Hey, lose the battle, win the war, man.
Right?
I know.
But
That's
I-
exactly right.
I think you're right, though. He found something a while back that was pretty poignant and I think fits pretty well with your deal. Isn't that like when you're 80 years old, when your kid's throwing a tantrum or when they're freaking
Yeah.
out, look back at it as if you were an 80-year-old looking back on your life.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to think this is the funniest freaking thing in the world
Oh, right.
when you're 80.
That's right.
It's going to suck right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yep.
when you're 80, you're going to
Yeah.
think that's the funniest
Right,
thing.
and you're going to be showing them those pictures. Like, look what you wanted to wear every day for a
this was
year.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Burned into my retinas.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And part of me is like, he wants to wear. He really wants to wear whatever I'm wearing. Like he wants to kind of like. So
Mirror
he's
you,
willing
yeah.
to change some things, but he knows how much I love the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
I think for him, he's like, this is like
Dad likes the Chiefs. I'm
you
down.
know?
Yeah.
Like,
Perfect.
so
There's something pretty sincere and sweet about that.
Right,
too.
right.
Absolutely.
You got to
That's
appreciate
what I tell
that.
myself when he's doing me. I wanna do this.
He just wants to be like me. I swear.
Well, see, I've got the exact opposite problem in my house. My daughter currently wants nothing to do with me.
Oh,
So
I thought you was going to say she doesn't want to wear clothes.
well, also that's also a thing that we fight, but that's mostly just because Liv and I get tired of cleaning all the crap off of every single T-shirt and pair of shorts that she owns. So
Yeah.
she runs around in her diaper quite a bit. That's a whole nother story. I'm wearing my obnoxious vacation shirt today because we did just get back from vacation, and it was our first away from the kid vacation.
Nice.
It was
Bliss.
5 days of sleep all the way through the night.
Oh, yeah.
The first night, I caught my wife with the baby monitor on her cell phone, and we were in New York. I was like, babe, I love you very much, but you're going to have to turn that off right now.
Yeah. Oh my
Please,
gosh.
God, turn that off. But
It's soothing.
so we spent, and it kind of is. Honestly, it's one of those deals where you get used to hearing it, and it's like, oh crap, now I'm not hearing it.
Yeah.
But so we spent 5-6 days away from the kid. She spent time with both sets of grandparents. It was awesome. For us, she seemed to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But the second we got back, she has been latched to her mom like a barnacle and will not let go and wants nothing to do with me. Aaron, it is the craziest thing.
Wow.
Like, I try to, no mom help, no mom do it, no mom pick me up, no mom cuddle me, no mom everything. I mean,
Right.
and we have a handful of things that it's dad's thing every single night. I handle bath time. I
Right.
handle, like, that's one of my things that I do every night with her. And No, mom do it.
Oh, wow.
Mommy do it. It's like, dude, we've been doing this for 2+
Dang.
years. This is our thing. You're not taking this from me.
Right.
I want to hang out with my kid.
Yeah.
But it's and I understand this too shall pass. And at the end of the day, 6 days later, she is finally like warming back up, and she's not near as pissed that I was gone.
Yeah.
But
Liv was gone too.
yeah, and that's the point. Is that Liv was with me. It's not like I was gone and she was latched on with mom. What really needs to happen is Liv needs to go away for a week,
Right.
so she'll actually like.
There you go.
But I think
plan a
the moral-
girls trip for Liv. Liv will love it. You'll love it.
I think the moral of
Win-win.
the story is just don't ever leave again. Is that it? I just don't ever get to leave my child ever again, which I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about that
Maybe
later. But
She'll probably wake up some random day and be like, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
It's all
Oh, yeah.
like, I was here the whole time.
Right?
I didn't go
Nothing
anywhere.
changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I've been dealing with a kid that wants absolutely nothing to do with me for
Nice.
the last whole week.
nice.
about you?
Well, yeah, no, I like that Aaron brought up irrational tantrums earlier. So we had our first I want a toy tantrum in the middle of the store with Liam, and normally, like, when we go into stores, he's pretty good. I mean, he'll ask for a toy here and there, and we'll be like, you know what, when we're done doing what we're doing, we'll go look at the toys, Don't necessarily always get one, but we'll at least look at them. Well, and I think this was on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to me. But
Timing.
so we go into Walmart because it'd been like a really good day up to this point. So we're like, you know what, let's run to Walmart and get some stuff and do some errands since everything's going so good. And I don't even think we'd got through the second door of Walmart there, and Liam's like sitting in the cart, and he's like, I need a toy. And we're like, okay, when we get done doing what we're doing, we'll go look at him. And he says again, I need a toy. We're like, okay, we're done doing what we're doing, we'll go look at him. And he's at this point now where if you ignore him, he just repeats what he just
gets
said,
louder,
and or gets more dramatic. Right? We get louder, or we get more whiny, or we start flailing all over the place. And then it gets to a point where like, I grab him. I'm like, Liam, if you don't stop this, we're not going to look at him at all. We're just going to leave. Well, that makes it even worse. And so now he's just really hating life at this point because he's not going to be able to look at the toys, and he's like just losing it in the middle of Walmart, like so bad that I just had to like get him out of the cart, and I told Allie, I'm like, do what you need to do. I'm taking him to the truck. He can lose it out there in the truck. Then he's only inconveniencing one of us, not the entire Walmart store. And so yeah, I had to take him out there, and he was upset for a while out there, and really the rest of the night because we would not go get him a toy right when we walked into Walmart. And so I was like, man,
Good for you for sticking to your guns.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know how many times I've taken children out to the car, like whenever one of the boys is throwing a fit, and like, and it's so the quick and easy fix is just get him a toy,
right?
Yeah.
Like walk 10 steps over the aisle, but then
like you want to part of you
in their mind, they're like, that worked.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to try that again tomorrow whenever I don't want to eat my food or whatever.
And I know it won't even be a try at that point.
Right.
It'll just be this is what fixes it. So this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. You got that little dad on your shoulder saying, oh, just go take him to the toy aisle. But then it's like, no, can't start that. Well, and it's like, great example. Tonight we went to Walmart. He didn't even ask to go see the toys.
There you go.
And so it's just, I don't know. It all depends on the day,
Sticking
man.
to your guns is tough, though, man.
It is. It can be. It can be depending on what it is.
Well, I got a little girl who I am firmly wrapped around her little finger. So
Yep.
it's just like,
especially now
really
that she's
hard for me to-
you're trying to win her back into your graces. So
you want a
it's like,
toy? Okay. How many toys do you want?
Liv and I literally joked about it. She's like, you should start carrying fruit snacks around in your pocket like dog treats.
Oh, gosh.
There you go.
So you could give her dog treats. Hey, you want a fruit snack? You want to come hang out with me?
There you
Here's a
go.
fruit snack.
There you go.
It's like, God, I don't want to be that guy.
Might be a dad hack for you there.
There you go, exactly.
But yeah, Aaron, that's the other thing. As you know, we ask everybody is give us your best dad hack.
Dad hack alert!
That you have, or maybe you like some great dad advice that either you were given or that you want to share with other dads. So tell us what you got.
So we are in the heart of sports right now with my 8-year-old Carter.
Okay.
So he is big into sports, loves playing them, loves watching them, which is awesome with me.
Perfect.
So we're in baseball season right now. So he loves watching the Cardinals and all that kind of
Nice.
stuff. He loves playing baseball, so he plays on a team with the boys from New Covenant, where he goes to school. And one of the best advice, because I am super competitive, very competitive.
Yeah.
And it's tough as a dad sitting on the side of a field or a court or something, and your kid is like either not trying hard or not doing well, you know they could do better, whatever.
Sure.
But seriously, one of the best advice I heard from a dad was like, when the game is done, like our natural tendency is to be like, dude, like, what were you doing?
Right.
Like, you could have played harder. You could have ran faster. You could have jumped higher. You could have like,
got that rebound, whatever.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or yell stuff from the side, like even more.
That's
like,
even worse.
when they're up
Yeah.
there, like, come on, And seriously, one of the best advice I've heard is like the number one thing you should say is, obviously, hey, buddy, you did a great job tonight. I really enjoy watching you play sports.
Nice.
That's it.
Yeah. Nice. No critique.
No critique. Now, as they get older,
right.
like, you can say things like, how do you feel like you played tonight? Or,
Ooh, that's a good way to word
and then
that.
it's like, then they start thinking through, like, okay, maybe I could have, and that's when they get older. Like right now, 8 years old, like he's just out there having fun with his. That's right.
Right.
So anyway, I thought that was really good. So like, I've really been trying, like, man, I loved coming out and watching you play baseball.
Yeah.
And for me, it feels good because I'm like, I'm doing a good dad thing. And for him, he's at the end of every game, he's not. Like, he always looks over at me for affirmation now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you start scolding him or yelling at him, they don't even want to look at you.
No.
Like, they're like,
Right.
I'm disappointed dad. Like,
Let
and
dad
now,
down.
Mistake or good thing, he looks over at me and give a thumbs
Yeah.
up. So that's
Keep going, buddy. Keep
advice
trying.
of the day.
Keep
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, and it's like at 8 years old, or like you said, any of those young ages, like how much of that stuff are they really going to retain and be like, oh, dad told me to rebound, between this week and next week. They're not going to remember that,
No.
Absolutely not.
And so, just, tell them to have fun. And
That's right.
like you said, that you're proud of them. I love that. That's great advice.
And,
Great stuff.
and we go out in the backyard and we'll play catch and we'll play basketball or whatever. And that's the time, honestly, where I found it's fun to be like, all right, man, now listen, when you go drive to the basket, like step up and use your left hand on this time or whatever. And he's like, oh, okay. Like in his mind, like we're practicing.
Sure.
Yeah.
In my game, like we're just having, we're using what we learned and having fun.
It's
and,
almost like practice is a good thing.
Right.
I love that. That's solid. Yeah, that's really
I'm
solid.
practicing being a dad.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
We're all learning.
Yeah.
It's a rotational deal.
Yeah. Well, with me, so I think we've kind of hit that phase with Liam where he's kind of getting scared of the dark.
Okay.
And so like probably this past week, maybe a little over a week, every night when we put him down, he doesn't want us to leave the room, or when we do leave the room, he gets really upset because he hears a tiger and a lion in the wall.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be terrified too.
Right. That does sound scary.
That sounds scary.
You need to move.
Right. Yeah.
Something's wrong with your neighbors.
Yeah.
We got to get out of this neighborhood.
I know a good realtor.
You do? Okay, man. Might have to hook me up there. But yeah, and so
Nice, that's good.
I don't know what it is, but every night that's what he's been telling us. And like we've tried a lot of stuff. We've turned on the lights and be like, hey, where do you hear that? He always points to the same spot, and so we show him. We're like, hey, nothing's there. You're fine. We tried changing the topic, singing songs, getting his mind off it. That doesn't work. As soon as we leave the room, he's back to it. And so the other night, for whatever reason, he has this big like T-Rex piggy bank, and we call it Liamosaurus. And I don't know where this idea came from, but I was just like, hey, Bud, what's bigger than a tiger and a lion, and what really scares them? And he's like, what? I was like, a T-Rex, especially Liamosaurus. And he's like, you can just tell the little gears in his mind are just turning there. He's like, okay, where's Dad going with this? And I'm like, should we roar with Liamosaurus, try to scare these lion and tiger off? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, let me hear you roar. So he's like, roar. I'm like, no, man, you got to do it louder than that. I was like, let's try it again. Okay. He's like, roar. And I'm like, all right, we got to be really loud though if we really want to scare him off. And he's like, okay. I was like, let's do it one more time. He's like, okay. And he's like, roar. And I was like, Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And he's like, what? I was like, I hear the tiger and the lion running off. And he got excited about it. Like he started clapping, like he was like cheering.
So awesome.
And then he climbed into bed and he was perfectly fine after that. And then we did that the next few nights as well too, like after we tried to put him down and it worked. And then now it's gotten to be where it's part of our bedtime routine. Before we put him down, we're like, we do it, and it hasn't been an issue since then.
Sweet.
So
That's cool.
find whatever works whenever whenever they hit that point of
That's
being
right.
scared of the dark or sleeping on their own, and
I'm stealing that
implement
so
that.
fast. Elsie
Yeah.
has so
And that's
many
not something
stuffed
you read in a
animals and
book,
stuff.
right?
No, like I said, I don't even know how I came up with it. I think I was sitting there just like, I'm like, man, can you just go to sleep? Because I want to go to
I
sleep.
want to go to bed. so
And
bad.
I made eye contact with this dinosaur sitting on his dresser, and I'm like,
Help me, please.
yep, we're going with it.
Please,
We'll see if it works.
Make this easier for me.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so that worked great for us, or so far it has. So
I
yeah,
like it a lot.
yeah. What about you?
So mine was ripped from the internet, but
That's
I still thought it was pretty solid. This dad was talking about how he had struggled with getting his kids to do things that they didn't like. You know, we've joked about this already, that it's like you can just give in and just not make them do it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you spend so much time trying to convince your kids to do something that once you actually convince them to do it, film them. Film their reaction and ask them questions about it while it's happening. Get them to tell the camera how much they like doing whatever it is that they're doing. Like, for example, if you've been trying to get your kid to eat broccoli and they don't like it because it's green, and I'm not going to eat something green. Gross. Ew, green is grass. I'm not going to eat that. So you feed them the broccoli. They're like, oh, broccoli's actually kind of good. So do you like that? Do you like the broccoli? That's pretty good, huh? Tell me about what you like about the broccoli. And they'll proceed to talk about it. And then the next time they say they don't want broccoli, then they just get to convince themselves. You just showed them back the video.
Argue with yourself.
See, this, you know that you recognize this kid? This kid seems to think that broccoli's really good, and they seem to think that you should really do this. And so here, let you talk you into this young one.
I like that.
So, I mean, it doesn't quite work with Elsie at this point because she doesn't speak
Yeah.
English to make that work, but I kind of thought that was pretty solid from a,
That's
like...
pretty good.
I might try that. Yeah, at least with Liam, you know, because he's old enough to do that
Yeah.
now. And
But I just like, especially with the food thing, I just thought that was interesting. Like if you're trying to get them to eat more vegetables or more protein or whatever it is, and they turn their nose up at it because they don't like it, well, talk them into it and then film them and say, oh, why do you like that?
Yeah.
And they'll just
That's
talk
pretty
themselves
good.
into it.
right, that's kind of the opposite of one of our guests that filmed his kids having a tantrum
Yes.
because they didn't want to do stuff, and then look at how ridiculous you look.
Look at how crazy you are.
Okay, be honest. How many times have you cried back to your kids? Have you done that yet?
I've tried that, but
I
it
feel
doesn't
like
work.
It doesn't work, but it feels good.
Oh yeah,
You know?
right?
It's like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna cry.
Right.
Like,
The other one I
Actually-
liked was to cry with them and say, no, I really want mommy.
Oh.
No, I want mommy. No, no,
right,
no,
just
it's my
argue
turn
with
to
them?
want mommy.
Oh,
I
that's
want mommy.
awesome.
And then she goes, wait, what? I'm confused. I don't understand what you're asking.
That's funny that you said that because Allie just posted some pictures on Facebook for Father's Day of different pictures, you know, of me, and there's one where I'm holding both boys. They're losing it, and I have the face that I'm crying too, and
Nice.
I'm clearly trying that trick, and it is not
is not
working at
working.
all.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
backfired hardcore.
That's awesome. So I just had a thought of an app idea.
Bring it.
Okay. So you just talked about showing them a video, convincing them to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, deep fake, like AI stuff is popular right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what if you created an app where you could pick any celebrity or anybody that they liked?
Ooh.
You could program your face saying like, "Hey, you need your broccoli,
Yeah.
whatever," but it changes your face to like whoever they idolize.
Ooh.
And
Hey,
like
it's
it
me,
says their
Iron
name.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Like,
need to
hey,
Right?
Liam,
Yeah.
it's
Buzz
Iron
Lightyear. Yeah.
You
Right.
eat your vegetables. Boom.
Solid.
Genius.
It's
I actually really like that
better.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better get to working on
You're
that.
like,
Somebody's
hey, I
gonna
just
steal
got a
that.
text from, you know, in my son's case, it'd be like some NBA player, like
Yeah,
yeah.
Steph Curry
Perfect.
is like, really wants you to do your homework.
Yeah.
Look, hey Carter, do your homework.
He said he loved math and
This
got
is
A's on all of his
$1 million
tests.
idea, guys.
Right it up. So we were talking in the break. You said something that was sounded pretty profound to me, and I want to kind of tee you up for it. You were talking about trying to find a happy balance between dadding and being a friend to your kids. Talk to me about your thoughts there. Like, what do you think about that? Because you started to talk about it. I was like, wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's turn the cameras on, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
Because that's really good.
No, I just think it's a tough balance, especially as kids get older.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the kids are little, like, you know, 2, 3, 4, it's like, let's just keep them alive. Like, you know, that's really like feed them,
Right.
you know, get them to bed, like all that kind of stuff. But as they get older and their interests start aligning with some of your interests, it's natural to be like, dude, this is going to be like my best friend. Like,
Yeah.
I literally have birthed, or my wife has birthed my best friend, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to form them into what I want them to be. And that's like, I don't know. I don't have the answer to this balance. I think that's the point. Like that's something I'm going to have to learn as they get older is like,
Right.
I want to be the cool dad who's like friends with them and like understands what they're going through. But at the same time, I also want to be the authoritative figure in their life that they come to for advice, because we all had friends in our lives and they were cool to hang out with. But when we had an issue with something, we found somebody who's going to give them good advice, not be like, do it anyway, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what that balance is, but I think that's something that dads probably need to discuss.
It sounds like you're good that you're intentional about it.
Right.
That at least you're thinking about it ahead of time. That's good.
Well, shoot, I mean, I know you said young kids you don't have to worry about too much, but I'm already struggling with it too, because it's like, I mean, there's times where like your kids want to, well, I mean, we just talked about this just a minute ago, where, you can always give in and go the easy route. And it's like, you know what, that would be really fun to do. Let's keep playing and not go in and eat dinner yet, or what, whatever it is that you're doing there. And it's like, you know what? Yeah. We'll still be friends after we eat dinner. Okay. Yeah. But it is hard to draw that line there, and figure it. And I think as they age, it does change, right? And so just figuring out what works for you. But
and it's not that you always. I think that another struggle is I always felt like I need to entertain them and like give them something cool to do, and like we got to go play putt-putt, we got to go here, and we got to do this. And I've had a couple times where my boys are like, "Hey, can we just sit on the couch and chat?"
You need to talk to my wife.
Like, oh really?
Yeah, every day that she's home all day with them, she's like, what am I going to do with the boys today? Okay, I got to take them to a park. We got to do this. We got to do that. I'm like,
I don't stay at home all day with my boys.
Right.
And so I think I would pull my hair out. Like I would be like, we got to get out of the house every day. So moms have a pass on this. No, I'm just kidding. I just think like a lot of times I put a lot of pressure on myself on entertaining, always having something to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, they just want you to be present.
They do.
Like they just want you to be there. Like, and it doesn't matter what we do. Like we could literally sit on the couch and talk about monsters and heroes and whatever
it is.
Or we could go outside and play catch, or we could go for a walk, or like I just started this 75 hard whatever like
how's it going?
Workout program.
Good for you.
That's fun. I'm on like day 4.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
4 days I'm really enjoying myself.
But like my son came and worked out with me early this morning.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like things like that where you can pull him in, like he just thinks it's the coolest thing, but at the same time we're learning as we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
So along those same lines, we've had a couple of dads talk about like wanting to be or trying to shape their house to be like the house where their kids hang out at.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you think that you want to try to make that like your kids and their friends? Do you want your home to be that home?
100%.
Yeah?
Right.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And I think it's just because like I want to get them in the habit of wanting to come back to my house. Like because I want a relationship with my boys longer. Like I want a relationship with my boys whenever they're my age.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, I want them to value hanging out with me and spending time with me just on that. And so it kind of starts like when they're younger and stuff. But then, also knowing who their friends are.
Right.
Knowing who they're being influenced by.
Controlling the situation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Like you're there. Like I grew up that way. So I mentioned it before. Like I have 5 brothers and sisters. Huge family, grew up on 300 acres on a big farm. We were the house that everybody came to.
Sure.
And it was just because like we had a good space for that, but my parents were always very open and like have whoever you want over. Like they kind of created that environment or atmosphere. So
I can't imagine the craziness. 6 kids.
Yeah. So there's 30 of us just in my immediate family now with marriage and kids. So I have 19 nieces and nephews.
My gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's a party. Yeah.
Dang.
So what's
that's gotta be fun though.
Bottom? You're the middle. You're kind of in the middle. So what's the split?
13 years. So my oldest sister, so I have 2 older sisters and an older brother, and then I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
How are like cousins? I guess your kids' cousins. I mean, are all you guys like super tight?
Oh yeah.
Because that was one thing I loved growing up. Because I mean, I didn't grow up in like a neighborhood to where you could walk next door and play with your friend, but.
You grow up.
But we, all my cousins lived really locally, and we was always at their house or whatnot. So those were my best friends, and obviously my cousins. And so that was one thing that I don't know. I want to say disappointed, but really I don't think like my kids are really going to be able to experience because they only have on my side 2 cousins, and they live an hour away. They can't just ride their bike down the road and go hang out with them.
Sure.
So
it's just, and honestly, I think it does tie back a little bit to the way my parents raised us. Like my mom always joked we could never live more than 20 miles away. And what's funny is like none of us live more than 20 miles
these
away.
years
Oh,
later,
really?
it's 20 miles.
Really?
That's funny.
My younger
That's
brother
awesome.
moved out of state,
Yeah.
for several years and stuff, but now he's back in Springfield. He lives like right over here. And so, like most of us all go to the same church together. So we see each other every week. We have birthdays or events or big, we all love to travel. So like, we
Big
do
family
big
stuff.
trips and stuff like that. So
You travel with 30 people?
we actually just did a cruise in April, and my
Bro.
youngest sister she's pregnant, so she was not able to go.
Yeah.
But everybody else. So there's
Oh,
26
wow.
of us, 27 of us.
It's like family reunion cruise style,
Yeah.
right?
Though.
Exactly.
That's
You guys do matching
cool.
T-shirts? We saw lots of
Oh,
T-shirts.
yeah.
on
Absolutely.
that.
I feel like you
My
have
brother
to.
owns a screen printing company.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
We print t-shirts
Easy access.
before lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, it's
Owens family lunch.
you joke. Like,
No, but for real,
we have 5 of those shirts. Yeah,
different colors. Yeah.
that's what I work out in. Okay.
I love that though. Well, I think that's really cool, and that's the balancing the parent and friend thing. How that manifests for me right now is that it's trying to find my way out of just being the person who's there to like play all the time, to shifting to that. I don't want to say necessarily disciplinarian, but rather authority figure or that point of reference for her I'm having to shift from the guy who's, I'm going to tickle you and we're going to throw balls back and forth and we're going to do all this fun stuff to like, okay, no, you really do have to eat your dinner.
Yeah.
So
It's respect.
And
I mean,
we're
it comes down to
finally
respect.
getting to that.
Yeah.
And it's just recently getting to that at 2 years old. So
Yeah.
I got a ways to go, but
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find my footing on that, honestly, because
it's a journey that I think that we just you learn as
You do,
and different
right?
personalities, like that's the other part of it,
Right.
Like my youngest son is more independent than my oldest son, and so like he's probably going to be more like I want to do my own thing a little bit. Like he still obviously loves us and all that. He's 5, but like I could see him being more like, yeah, that's cool, but like I kind of want to do my own.
Let me do my own thing. Yep.
Which
That's cool.
I'm fine with that. It's good to have a balance of individuality through
For
that.
sure.
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
it
Yeah.
comes down to respect. I think that's the big thing. Is I want my boys just to respect me, and so through a healthy friendship, but also through that authoritative side.
Yeah.
don't hate it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Aaron, you brought up a few minutes ago a great idea that you just had about the app, right?
Yeah, this
is true.
Yeah.
We're
and
all
the deep
taking
fake
notes.
stuff. But and I don't think we got this part recorded, but you brought up another idea that you have that I think me and Bryant both really liked about, developing, I don't know, whether it's a book or a class or something on, what your boys should learn at what ages. So tell us a little bit about this idea that you kind of pictured in your head.
Yeah. So once again, like when we were first finding out we're having a kid, it's like, okay, you just have so much, at least I did, like anxiety on like making sure that I'm going to be a good dad and lead them and teach them, because it's on us to teach them stuff,
Right?
Sure.
And raise a good human. Yeah.
That's right. And then inevitably it happens, I'm guaranteed it's happened to you guys too. You meet someone or someone that and it's like, oh, my kid was doing this at this age.
Oh,
or
yeah.
like, my kid already has a college degree.
Oh, my
he's
gosh,
12.
We
yeah.
have
Like,
an entire
Yeah.
podcast where we just get dad shamed on
Yeah,
a weekly
right.
basis.
That's true. Yeah.
On
We
the
think we're
real-
doing good until we bring people like you
And
you
then
on.
you come
Yeah.
in, or
Yeah.
Kevin and Sandy, or Kevin Rice comes in, and he's 2 doctors, and they're already working
Oh,
on
geez.
stuff with their 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Yeah.
She's reading. What do you mean?
It is tough, but I feel like there are some things out there that are like universal things that maybe your kids should learn at certain ages.
Yeah.
And like, so my idea was like, what if there was like a book or a curriculum or a video series or something? I don't know. But it's like, congrats, your son just turned 5 years old. Here's the top 10 things he needs to know at 5.
I love it.
And it's not like preference, it's more just like universal stuff.
Right.
Like we talk about like, hey, your kid's 8 years old. Like it'd be a great time for you to teach him how to start a fire, use a pocket, or understand what a knife is, and like
Right.
whatever. How to have a checking account or understand how money works. Like all that kind of stuff. I think, because especially when it comes to sports, I mean, it just keeps getting younger and younger and younger.
Yeah.
Your kid doesn't start soccer at 2.5 years old. Like he's gonna miss.
Right.
the
He's
boat.
behind.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And you question all this stuff, and so I'm like, man, it'd be cool to just have something where you're like, hey, like it would have to be short, lots
Sure.
of pictures,
Right.
Right?
A list.
Big
Just a
font.
list. Yeah.
That's all I need.
Or video, or TikTok. I'm telling you, there's out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're aging ourselves here.
Yeah.
I mean, just something. I thought that would be kind of cool.
I think it's super solid.
Maybe it's going to be birthed out of Decent Dads.
I was going to say, maybe that's just our video miniseries that is
there you go.
Aaron standing here in my basement demonstrating how to start fires.
Well,
and
even better than that,
whittle.
I thought it'd be cool if we had different dads take a different age.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, maybe they pick their favorite age or something, but it's like, hey, for me, like
That's a good
7
idea.
years old
Yeah.
was really cool with me and my son, and here's why. Like, these are the things we did.
Yeah.
And so like, I could come in and talk about that, and then somebody else could.
Solid.
Yeah.
Write it down. Write it down, Derek. Just write it down.
Right. Okay. Let me get it right here.
Write it
Well,
down.
no, Aaron. I mean, you was talking about something fun that you did. When he was 7, but you are doing something really fun with your oldest right now. And I think me and Bryant got an invite on Facebook.
We did, dude. And as soon as we got it, I'm like, I gotta talk.
To join. to join a group. With shoe sales.
That's right.
Right?
Yep.
I think it's called Dude Deals.
Deals.
Is that correct?
You got it.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about that.
So the business is just kind of this business over here. Honestly, that's not really the point.
Of course not.
The
No,
point
no.
is really like, I want to start teaching my son about money.
Yeah.
Like, that's really the biggest thing. He's 8 years old, and he doesn't quite understand, like, hey, I've got birthday money, and like I just want to go spend my money, and like it's gone when it's gone, and like all of that kind of stuff. So we started him a bank account like a couple years ago, and that's fine. Like I kind of was like trying to show him like, hey, this is what interest and like all this stuff. Didn't quite get it. Not there yet. So
that's
this
age
year I'm
15
like,
in that
that's
book.
right. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
See, that's when you start categorizing these ages. Yeah. No, so I was like, man, I want to do something with him that's like, I want to show him how to earn money and then what to do with that money.
Yeah.
Like the priority of where your money goes. Like, so if you get $20 from something, you didn't actually get $20. Like in the real world, you take off this and this and this and this, right? That's right.
Tie,
all the
savings,
things. That's
all
right.
these things.
All the things. So anyway, I'm kind of like a junkie when it comes to like flipping stuff. I just have always been intrigued with it. I love like buying low, selling high on just stupid stuff. And so it's natural for me. I'm like, I have mentioned wanting to have like a resale business of some kind for so long. Well, Carter's really into basketball and he loves shoes and like all that kind of stuff. So I was like, hey, sweet, let's do a shoes like reselling. So we get these shoes like discounted places, and then we've created a Facebook group. And we promote them on there, and then if people don't want them on the group, then we sell them on Marketplace or whatever. But he helps like take the pictures on stuff. He helps pick out the shoes, like teach them like profit margins and stuff like that.
Sweet.
So our first month we did like a little over $1,000 of sales in shoes, which is kind of crazy.
That is, I mean,
Absolutely.
8 years old.
8 years old, yeah.
I
So
mean,
he could see like I profited this much, like tithe on this, and then 20% in savings, and 30% buying more stuff, and then 40% you could do with whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that was the cool part, because he's like, okay, he truly could take that 40%. We went straight to Fast Break Sports. And he wanted basketball cards. And
I love it.
He ordered a jersey online because he really wanted like a Steph Curry jersey.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So he had stuff he was working towards. Which is cool. Give him a goal. But yeah.
Yeah, give him a goal.
So
I like
cool.
that. And he's like pretty official now. I saw he got a desk. Right?
Yeah. So I was saying that we moved him up. He's staying in the same room as my younger son. And so his room downstairs in the basement wasn't being used.
Now his
So
office?
we made it his office. So we have a shelf for all of our shoes. And he's got a little desk. Yeah.
That's
pretty
cool.
official.
I love
So
that.
sweet.
It's pretty
I love
official.
that.
If you guys buy shoes, you'll get like a little handwritten card from Carter.
Oh, that's so
Oh,
cool.
shoot. Now we got
It's
one.
worth it, right
Good
then.
for you,
Yeah.
dude. Because
Yeah.
we've talked about this with several dads, and everybody has a slightly different approach to it. But everybody seems to have the same general consensus that we've got to start this early and often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, some of us got the money talk and some of us didn't. And some of us were absolute dumbasses at 18 years old and spent every penny they had the second they got to college.
100%. Right.
And,
Yeah.
and it got hit in the face, with a ton of bricks that, like,
Right.
oh, so you actually do have to, like, pay attention to your money and actually learn how to use it and everything. And again, not to say that my parents did anything wrong. It's probably more that I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really, really, really like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we had a garage sale a few weekends ago, and did lemonade stand for Liam,
Sweet.
and same thing. We was trying to teach him, same thing there. And it's funny, he kind of started to understand the concept of money, and he understands like you put your money in. I mentioned earlier, Liamosaurus
T-Rex.
and his T-Rex, right? So now, anytime he sees money lying around, he's like, oh, I got to go feed my Liamosaurus. And so Allie, I don't know, whatever reason, she had like a 20 laying there on the counter, and Liam just grabs it. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I got to go feed my Liamosaurus. I'm like, no, dude, it doesn't work like that.
Not all money is your money.
You have to do something to earn this money. And he's like, just a confused look on his face. I was like, do you remember when you was pouring lemonade for our guests? I was like, and they would give you money? I was like, you haven't really done anything yet to earn this $20, so you can't.
Sure.
I love that.
Can't go give it to him, but it was funny.
I was trying to think of a way, because we've had a couple of guests talk like this, and then I was, frankly, I was super envious of what you're doing with your son. And I think that's really fun. And I was trying to think of a way to do that with my daughter. And inevitably, Elsa's going to end up into the crafty stuff because that's where Liv is.
Totally.
And Else follows Liv around like a lost puppy. So
I mean, she is her favorite.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You ask Elsie the question, who's your favorite parent? It's mom. No brainer.
She'd answer that real quick.
Yeah, it's without hesitation and ruthlessly.
You guys should do a podcast where you interview your kids.
We've talked about that.
We want to do the mom takeover.
Nice.
Where we bring the moms in and let them talk and pour them a couple glasses of wine and just see what falls out of their mouths.
Yeah.
And then we want to also do when the kids get a little bit older.
That'd be perfect.
I've seen some of those videos where it's like for Mother's Day or something.
Yeah.
You interview your kid about what's your mom's name.
Yep.
What's your mom's favorite food.
Yeah.
And you
what
just
does your
get
dad actually do for
ridiculous
a living?
Yeah.
You get
We talked
these
about that.
ridiculous answers that come out of their mouths. But I think I would want to do something like that, but maybe it's Liv and Else do some kind of Etsy store.
That's great.
And help them get set up with something.
That's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Liv has talked about wanting to do an Etsy store for 1,000 years. And so maybe that's the motivator. It's like, you and Else can do one, and let's just go tee that up.
Make
really
a
nice.
Decent dad apparel and sell that.
Yeah.
There you
If
go.
only we knew somebody who had a screen printer.
Right.
I don't know if anybody.
Anybody?
Bueller.
We'll see.
Bueller.
It definitely has to be something that you enjoy. I think
Right.
that's part of it too. Is like because it's something that you're going to have to carry 90% of it at first,
Right.
And then the goal is to eventually kind of hand that off. But
Let them run with it.
absolutely, I just feel like I never had an allowance growing up.
Right.
Like
Same. Yeah.
I don't. In my personal opinion, everybody's different. Like I don't like allowances. Like in my mind, like I got paid to do stuff at my house that was over and above what like the chores were,
Yeah.
right? And I wasn't given a monthly allowance like just for the sake of having.
Oh, right.
Like, I
Yeah,
would,
yeah.
polish my dad's shoes, like
yeah.
things like that. That's like not normal stuff. Like then they would, they would give you money, or like we collected pop cans,
Okay.
and so we take them all down,
Oh,
and
yeah.
recycle them,
Yeah.
and you get like aluminum stuff. So like we would do. My dad kind of showed us some of that stuff, so I definitely have to give him credit for
That's
a lot
solid,
of that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
The pop cans thing. I did that too as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I had a huge barrel full, and I'm like, I'm gonna make so much money.
Is that like a small town kid?
And they
thing?
gave.
Oh,
I think I got $20 for
Oh,
this
yeah.
giant barrel. of
You want to know
pop
something
cans.
worse? Picking up walnuts.
Yes, we did that too.
We sold walnuts, and you
Sell
want to talk
them
about
to Hammond's Black Walnuts here
probably
in town?
over at Ozark Empire Fair. I just
yeah.
remember as a kid, we
Yep,
would
that's
spend
Hammond's.
months filling up buckets with walnuts.
Sure.
And walk in, and like each of us would get our like $4.
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
man.
Oh yeah, we would always
what I thought.
Okay.
we would always do that with my mom, and she, like you said, she did 90% of the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we would sell them, and you'd get. I mean, if you had like 2 truck bed fulls, you'd be like maybe $100, right?
Absolutely.
And mom's like, "Well, here's $20," and I'm like, "That's being generous, like for the amount of work that she did compared to what me and my sister did."
Oh my
Like,
gosh. Yes.
So back to Carter's thing. Technically, is he your boss now?
Oh.
Ooh.
Are you
yeah,
on the
no, we're
payroll?
50-50.
Oh,
We're
okay.
50-50
Okay,
partners.
so
That's
partners.
right.
I like it.
Absolutely. I wanted 51. He
Yeah.
negotiated.
Fair.
We're even partners, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Definitely 50-50.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, yeah, no, typically the last section that we end on is, tell us some funny stories. You mentioned you just went on a family cruise.
Yes.
Probably got some good stories from that.
Yeah,
but,
that was. It was mainly chaotic. Like
I
it was-
can only
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
the
Like,
ship was
can
like
only
crazy
imagine.
huge. It was one of the Royal Caribbean like big ships,
Sweet.
and there's like 6,800 people on this cruise
Okay, where'd you guys
ship.
go? Because
Like-
we were just on a Royal Caribbean.
Okay,
cruise
so we
too.
did. This one went out of Miami
Yeah.
and went to their private island, Coco Cay.
Yep.
And it went to St. Thomas, and it went
Ooh,
to
cool.
Puerto Rico.
Sweet.
I think that's it.
Was it
and
a long
Haiti.
cruise?
And Haiti. It was a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Yeah, that's awesome.
traveling, like we love traveling, cruising, love all that stuff. So that's a big thing for us as far as like making memories with our kids. Like traveling's a big part of that.
Sweet.
So I don't know if there's any like crazy funny stories, but yeah, it was a good trip. I will tell you one funny story, and I've got a video that I can share with you. So, so like I said, my youngest is very independent and strong-willed. Okay, so this was maybe a couple years ago. We went outside, and my older son knows how to ride a bike, right? So he goes outside, and he's got no shoes on, which, okay, it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, my little boy was 3 years old, and he was on one of those Strider bikes, which is like no pedals. You just use your feet.
Like the
to
balance
run.
bike.
The balance bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to wear any shoes because Carter wasn't wearing any shoes. And I was like, listen, buddy, like, that's fine. But like when we go around down this hill, you put your feet down.
You're going to be hauling. Yeah.
And you're going to hurt your feet. And he's like, no, I don't want to wear shoes. Like, I don't want to wear shoes. And I'm like, buddy, you got to go in and put on shoes. He's like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, fine.
Let's have a learning moment here.
Camera ready. So we go all the way around the loop, and we come back to the hill, and I'm standing up there with fucking, I'm like, all right, go. Carter comes flying down on his bike, woo. And here comes Crosby, and he's like picking up speed, and then he puts his feet down and just
on the asphalt.
Oh yeah. Makes an immediate left into the curb, end over end, over the into the grass, and I'm just like. It wasn't that fast.
Buddy,
like,
I hate
I'm not
to
a
say I
bad
told you
dad,
so,
but it was
but I told
very
you
funny.
so.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, no. He's like crying.
Yeah, no,
there's a dad moment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I've hit that point with Liam at times where he says he wants to do something, and you argue back and forth, and you're like, fine, do it. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, what was it? I mean, one of your guys, Terrence Arrington came in and gave us the best line. He's like, I give my kids choices. You can either do the thing that I perceive to be right, or you can do the thing that you perceive to be right, but I know is wrong.
That's right.
And you're just going to have to reap the consequences when that comes to pass.
Yeah.
You can have that chocolate candy bar before dinner if you want, but then you're not allowed any other food.
Right.
Or whatever it is, like
no movies,
or no movie later, or whatever. Like you can do the thing I'm telling you not to do, but be prepared to endure the punishment, and you're choosing to endure that punishment.
Yeah.
But also, how do you convince a kid that they're going to go end over on the handlebars?
Right? Yeah.
Like
no,
ever.
No. That's just like a dad. The dad IQ that we have that we can see into the future. Like,
Well, and also we were young, dumb boys at some point.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, we might have. I was like, we might have experienced that once before.
Yes. I've said it many times. Like natural consequences, is like one of the best ways to teach like kids things. It's like they always say, like let them touch the hot iron, or let them touch the stove or whatever. Not like terrible, but they'll never do it again. Like, and I feel like there is something to be said for that. Like, I don't want to be a helicopter dad that's just like, over all that stuff. Like sometimes you just have to, and it gets even more important as they get older, and that's going to be the hard part for me. Is like I'm going to want to like be in the life as far as like, no, do this.
You want to protect them, and
I'm talking later on. I'm like, honestly, the best way is going to be for you just to do it on your own.
Yeah, let them learn.
Learn by failing. Dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no better teaching tool than failure.
Absolutely.
100%.
No better teaching tool. You screw something up and then you go, oh, well, I'm never doing it that way again.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So you talked about traveling a little bit. I want to go back to that. Do you guys fly? Do you do big long car rides, road trips? Like, talk to me about your traveling style, because we just got back from our vacation without else, and we're excited to do more of it. But we also know that, frankly, I'm never leaving my daughter ever again to not have to go through this week-long torture that I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
What you got? Any pointers? You have anything that you guys like to do? Like, tell me about your traveling style. What do you guys like to do?
So the third child in our family is my wife when it comes to road trips.
Okay.
She hates being in a car. So she's amazing to travel with, but not in a car.
Yeah. Just clip it and send it to her.
That's
clip
right.
It and send it
right,
to her.
right.
This is when it all goes downhill. No, I'm just kidding. She'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah.
So like to the point where it's like Kansas City, like that's a long drive, So
that's too much.
So,
huh?
yes.
Wow,
So
really?
we have done some longer road trips. Like we've driven to Destin and stuff, which is a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
That's a haul.
But for the most part, we fly.
We're
We
on a
just,
plane. Sure.
it's for us, like we fly Allegiant, which is nice. It's nonstop for the kids. Like we've done other, connecting flights or whatever. But yeah, we fly. We've got, a tablet or like a little bag of activities. A lot of times what we do, like right before the trip, is we go to the dollar store and get a bunch of those dumb, cheap, like highlighter things and like little toys. And they're not it's a surprise. They open their backpack on the plane.
Yeah.
Or they get to see it, but they can't play
works.
with them. And it does. It totally works.
So
So,
like, it's a
Did you
brand new
hear
toy.
Ollie's move?
no.
Yeah. So like we do road trips right now because we're honestly too scared to take the boys on planes.
Okay. Nice.
And
It's easier than you think. I promise.
I don't know. We took Liam on one plane and he did awesome, but it was super stressful and a lot of work for me and Allie still.
Yeah.
So 2 boys, I don't know about that. Anyways, so
How do you really feel?
we still do.
Wait till you have 6 kids.
Right?
Yeah, right?
That's not going to happen. But yeah, so we do road trips. And yeah, we've done a couple 12-hour ones, and my wife, she had this genius idea of going to the dollar store or Five Below, wherever it is, finding all these cheap toys, and then each hour or really whenever they get tired of this toy, give them a new one, and then it's a brand new toy. And it's like, I'm just infatuated with this new toy, right?
Totally.
And it keeps them entertained.
Hour.
I mean,
So
you can always, like you said, give them the tablet or give them the screen, but it's like, you only want to do so much of that,
That's
right?
Yeah.
And that's worked so good for us.
That's awesome. Yep. Snacks, games, snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure, you have plenty of snacks because they're gonna get
Of
hungry.
course, I grew up in that generation where we used to do a bunch of road trips. We used to road trip back and forth to Hilton Head, South Carolina.
Nice.
And I grew up in the generation, well, we all did, but the VHS TV combo.
Oh yeah.
But it was only about the screen was only about your
right,
head.
right.
And Dad had it rigged up where it was connected to the cigarette lighter for power. And then he had the converter rigged to, we could also plug in the Nintendo 64.
Let's go.
Dang.
Like
Okay, Greg.
GoldenEye and
So that
Mario
was
Kart.
Right.
I wasn't allowed video games as a kid unless it was on a road trip. We
you
owned
go.
a 64, and it was not allowed in our house. It was only for road
Great
trips.
parenting hack,
That's pretty
Greg.
good.
So we sat in the back, and Dad built a hard plywood box and lined it with carpet so that he didn't have to listen to Banjo Kazooie or whatever it was playing in the
Let's
front
get this
seat.
guy on the
amazing.
podcast.
And so, like,
Jeez.
Drew and I, we would drop the middle seats because we had a Suburban. So we dropped the middle seats and we sat in the bench in the back.
Nice.
Snacks, board games, card games, whatever it was. And Mom and Dad just threw us as far as they could in the back. Here's the video games. Here's the snacks. Here's the toys. Here's the books.
Shut up and be quiet.
I'll see you in 12 hours.
Yeah.
Basically.
So
Wow.
I wish that kind
Here's
of
the
existed
2-liter.
now. And it kind of does, and it's right here.
Oh, yes.
Like, it kind of exists, and it's just called a cell phone.
It's true.
No.
Yeah. And honestly, like it's the one time where we don't put limits on like tablet time
Right.
or Nintendo Switch or something like that.
So you had something on your questionnaire that I thought was kind of cool, and it's something that I like to do just myself, but I assume it's something that you're actually working on with the kids. It just says windows down, music up. Tell me about that.
So I love music. Like I'm obsessed with all kinds of music. Grew up big musical family type of thing. And so I have passed that on to my boys.
Nice.
So now like when they get in my truck and it's halfway decent out, like not raining, we just roll down the windows and just crank up like whatever. It could be
Jam
classic
out.
rock, it could be hip hop, whatever it is, just loud music.
Jamming.
And we've started creating like each boy's creating their own playlists on Spotify.
Sweet.
I like that
so
idea.
like what's cool for me, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, when my kids are 30, if they continue this or whatever, like they could look back and literally have a timeline of music from their whole life
Right.
of songs that were important to them when they were like 8
Right.
years old. So like right now, Across the Spider-Verse is the new Spider-Man
Right.
movie that came out.
Right.
Boys are obsessed with it. The soundtrack is actually really, really good. And so we jam out on that.
The first
So-
soundtrack was badass.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
I
we love
listen to
it.
that constantly.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you think about like whenever you hear a song from your childhood and you instantly go back to that place, right?
Yep.
That's really cool that you're doing that. I want to steal that.
Well,
It's good.
It's so
Yeah.
much so that I've gotten to the point now where recently I went back through, and you're going to get a kick out of this. There is a playlist on Spotify called Hollister 2009, excuse me, 2005 to 2009.
You can still smell the
Right.
cologne.
Yes.
You can
The
still smell
J. Cologne.
You can
Yes.
still say, God, I can't see anything in here. It's so dark.
Yes.
And so he and I both worked there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Around the same
Were you
time.
the shirtless guys out front?
Maybe
He was.
I worked. I sold girls' jeans.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
But But yeah,
Today on Decent Dads, and you guys are both topless.
I actually think that's hilarious. We should just do
One of us
so it's
topless.
like
One of us have like
episode.
Just clip it
4
right now.
polos. I think one of us should have 4 polos on.
Yes.
And
Oh, with the
all the collars.
So,
yeah.
but it's kind of
Yes.
to your point though that it's like there's very much like times in my life where I can pick out very specific songs.
Yes.
Or
yeah.
very specific genres that are, like associated with a certain time or going to college or going to, work at Hollister or whatever it was.
right.
There's very specific things in my life.
Absolutely.
I'm dealing with something right now with my daughter that I could use some coaching on from you having older kids. Elsie only wants to listen to kiddie music right now. I mean, she's 2, so go figure.
Right.
At what point or how did you start to introduce your music, maybe not even your music, but just different music to your kids?
So I'm trying to think. I don't know exactly what the age was. We always have music playing in our house. So we have like an Echo Dot in like every room. And so it's just something I grew up with. My dad always had like a Bose radio and it was going all the time.
Yeah.
And so like for me, literally I'll walk in. If I walk into a room and like we're getting ready for dinner or whatever, we just put on music.
Sweet.
And so the thing I think we do the most is we just rotate picking the songs. And so like I'll just say, all right, Dad's turn, and I'll put on a song that I like.
There you go.
So maybe that's kind of
Okay.
And then I'll just play some songs, and eventually they're like, I like that song. Will you put that on my playlist?
Yeah.
And so like that kind of adds
Fun.
that style. So
And we've started to pick out a couple of things that she likes other than Wheels on the Bus.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, oh,
because I
man.
have listened to Wheels on the Bus 10
Baby Shark and all
trillion.
this stuff.
Yeah.
I literally have a playlist on my phone that is Elsie's EIO because she asks for EIO, EIO, EIO because she wants to hear Old MacDonald.
That's
It's a great
but
song.
she is 2.
It's a
so
hit.
I wouldn't stress
Exactly.
too much.
And so I'm just blessed that the kid actually wants to talk to me at this point.
Yeah.
but it's Old MacDonald had a farm, and if you're happy and you know
Yeah.
it, Mr.
Yes.
Golden Sun, like all
Sure.
those.
Yeah.
But my first song that I knew every word to was Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC
Yeah, of
because
course.
my dad was a degenerate in the best way possible. And so that was the
Oh,
first song
gosh.
I introduced Elsie to that wasn't kiddie
Wow.
music, was
Nice.
AC/DC.
Yeah.
And for a while there, she was really into it. And so we've started getting into more like 70s rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, like kind of funk stuff.
Totally.
And like just
Yeah.
trying to find something
Yeah.
that is not Baby Shark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. But let's talk about that for a minute. So when you introduced that song to her,
Yeah.
how excited were you when
Oh.
you introduced that song to her, right?
Over the freaking
And
over the moon.
I think your kids pick up on that because I hate kid songs. I hate listening to them. You got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Least
But
favorite thing in the world.
like my wife, she can drive around all day listening to those songs. I can't do that.
Nope.
And so, but I love like country music, and especially like 90s country and stuff. But there's a newer song out that I started listening to, and it talks about a dad raising boys and stuff. It's called Good Old Man by Drew Green. And I just really like the song just because it's so relatable. And so the boys are riding in the back, and I put it on. And like I just start, like you said, I just start jamming out to the song because I know every word at this point.
Totally.
And the boys like picked up on my excitement for the song, and so they were like head bombing,
Yeah.
and they were trying to sing it. And now it's gotten to a point where every time we hop in my truck, Liam wants to listen to that song. He's
Totally.
like, "Let's play our song."
Sweet.
Nice.
And he knows the words to it now. Brody can't really talk that well, so he just
Yeah.
makes sounds while he's playing.
That's all right.
But he's trying.
That's right.
And so I think it's just having that excitement and
Oh, I'm
showing
sure.
them that you really like
Especially
this.
with
They
boys,
pick up on
like
that.
obviously, I can't speak to
Yeah,
girls,
understand.
so
Yeah.
I don't, but boys naturally like they just want to be like their dad. I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of times, and so like,
agree
if
with that,
you do
yeah.
like make something fun or cool or like, well, this is what dad does or whatever. Like for the longest time, my son wanted to be. He liked rap music, but he also liked real estate. So he was going to be the first ever real estate rapper. Like that was going to be a thing.
I want to hear some of those raps.
I
man.
know, that's what I was thinking. So I think that that definitely does like play into that. for
Yeah.
sure. But there is hope eventually as they get older. Like
I even
music
got,
is a big bonding thing.
I even
for
got to the point where I was trying to like ease her out of it with like some of the Kids Bop stuff,
Hmm.
where it's like not quite kiddie music, but at
like
least
Cardi
we're-
B,
like,
but just like kids version.
yeah, not quite that one, but
edited version, very edited version.
but yeah, anything that's not the
Yeah.
wheels on the bus go round
Yeah,
it.
gosh.
Just like
Yes.
driving a screw slowly into my ear. Okay, so let's play the rapid fire game.
All right,
I want to
let's
ask a couple of questions. So, mom is gone. You have got the boys. All of a sudden, you realize it's noon. What's your go-to meal to cook the kids? You know it's always going to be in the kitchen. What's the go-to meal?
Typically, it's grilled cheese.
Attaboy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we go grilled cheese.
With or without soup?
So my youngest likes the tomato soup to dip it in. My older son does not.
Does he do ketchup?
Nope.
Okay. He's not a weirdo like
No.
me. Darn.
You do
So-
ketchup on your grilled cheese?
Sometimes. I've been known
My
to do
youngest
ketchup.
son is like a dipper. He dips everything and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. My older son does not dip anything. Like he'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Like, but he doesn't dip.
Just okay. I
I'm a
got it.
dipper.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I
Man.
wholeheartedly agree with the dipping thought
Oh,
process.
totally.
You got to have a sauce.
Always.
Food
Everything.
isn't
Chicken,
food without a
fries,
sauce.
everything.
I'm a dipper, but dipping your grilled cheese in ketchup.
No, I'm not a ketchup fan.
Wow.
Elsie
Really?
put her strawberries in ketchup yesterday at dinner. It was
Same
fire.
color. I get
Red.
that. I get that.
It all matched up.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a sunny Sunday and Mom's gone again. Just afternoon,
I'm
kicking it
sensing
with
a
the kids.
trend.
Because it's,
Why is Mom always gone?
moms are way better at coming up with cool stuff to do.
Oh,
I feel
gotcha.
like And so it's
100%,
like, what's
100%.
Dad's idea here? So, what's the go-to activity with the kids? Like, Mom's gone. What's the go-to?
Yep. So like right now, obviously we're in the heart of summer. So
Sure.
like we hit the pool. Definitely spend a lot of time at the pool. We play catch in the backyard. We play basketball outside.
Fun.
And then come inside, shower up, and play Nintendo. We play Nintendo Switch.
Sweet. So that
Nice.
so that
Yep.
rolls right into my next one.
Yep.
Rainy day. Same deal. Are we playing Switch? Are we watching sports?
do
What are we doing?
Both. I mean, they love watching any sports, which is really
I love
totally
that.
enjoy
Well, and you're a big Chiefs
Yes.
Love
fan.
that.
You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
them rolled into it
Yes.
too now.
Oh yeah, and basketball is Carter's favorite sport, so we
Perfect.
watch a lot of basketball too, and so yeah, I'm totally okay with that. Which
course.
is awesome.
Yeah, it gives
we
you
also
an
have a
opportunity to
game.
do
Okay, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but we have
Perfect.
a game
Tell more.
called the ball game.
Perfect.
Okay.
And legit, this started when Carter was very little, and I'm not sure why, but okay. Hope I don't get turned in for this, but it's a boy house, right? So we have like 1,000 different basketballs, baseballs, sponge
Right.
balls, what like all the stuff. And we have this basket that they come in, right?
Yeah.
I sit at one end of the hall, and my goal is just pelt them with the entire basket of balls. That's
Right.
what I do. And their goal is to not get hit.
Oh, playing dodgeball. Playing
Basically.
dodgeball.
Right, right.
But it's called but literally, and
The
it started
ball
as oh
game.
yeah, my goal was just to throw it as hard as I could, and like so now that's what they want to do on guys' night. We call it guys' night. If mom's
yeah.
got something, we play the ball game. I just hit them.
That's awesome.
But again, it's one of those
That's
deals
boys
where they
for you.
will
Right, yeah.
They'll love every minute of that, and that'll
Yes.
be one of their favorite things.
Absolutely.
They'll remember that
Yes,
for the
build
rest of their
forts.
lives.
Like we build forts. Like all
Sweet.
that
Yeah,
stuff, so.
we just we got some Nerf guns for the
There you
boys.
go. Yep.
Like
Oh,
I think
wow,
for
that's
I
like a
think
rite of passage
I think
for the
for
boy
I
dad
think
thing.
for Christmas we got that. So we've had them for a little while, and the boys like they play with them on and off. And the other night, for whatever reason, we was in the basement. And Liam, Brody can't really use them yet, but Liam wanted to play with them. And so I was like, okay. And so he got a gun, I got a gun. And we're like shooting at each other, trying to dodge each other.
Yep.
Shot one, lands in his mouth. He's across the room, lands in his mouth. And I instantly had the reaction like, oh my gosh, don't choke on that, right? Like,
Right.
mom's going to kill me, right? And then he bites that on it and just gets like the biggest grin
Dude,
on his
that's
face. He's like,
awesome.
Dad, that landed in my mouth, and just couldn't stop laughing. And I was just like, okay, this is getting to be fun,
long as
right?
it's good, as long
This
as
is
it's
getting to
good.
be
Yeah,
fun. And so
I'm telling you, like
I'm
that
li-
next
yeah.
phase of like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
Mm-hmm.
is for dad, like boy dad
Sure.
and girl dad will be
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
But like it's
Yeah.
just a blast because at that point you're like they fall over, like you're not so concerned.
Right.
That
Well, and
sounds
you've
bad,
also
but-
finally realized that they're not as porcelain doll as you
Right.
thought they were.
Gosh,
And I think
yes.
that's universal. Little girl, little boy.
Yeah, 100%,
They're
yeah.
not as breakable as you thought they were, and
100%.
particularly with the firstborn, because
That's
I'm still walking on eggshells around.
Oh
her, 'cause
yeah,
I'm scared to death.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I
break
was
her.
too. I'm sure Derek was too.
So-
Yeah,
it's-
with my first, with the second, as you probably know, totally different, right?
different.
Brody will like fall off the couch
And Brody's also like a
and land on his head,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, are you okay?" And he's just giggling about it, and you're like, "I don't even know why I was worried." He'll fall down and get like hit something all the time.
I've got
and-
another video I could see
Yeah.
across
Yeah.
me jumping off the couch and literally just face planting. Just
oh,
boom! It's
Yeah.
like
yeah, the second child, there's like,
Yeah.
a daredevil personality or something with him, because that's like Brody, such a small human being, but he'll just like hop on the ottoman, run across it towards me, and jump, and hope that I catch him
right.
and
You
throw
better
him up
catch
in the
him.
air. And
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't, who cares? I'll just hop up there and do it again.
I'll
I'm
just bounce
like,
off the couch.
Yeah, right. And he'll laugh about it. Like that's yeah.
That's so much fun though. So I think that's kind of all of it, but we got to get to everybody's favorite part of the episode.
We do. What time?
Yeah.
What part is that?
I think it's Dad Joke of the Week.
Yes, it is.
Everybody's favorite part. So I'm going to make our guest go first. He's been talking about his dad
God.
joke.
He has been talking them up.
Have
What
I?
you got there,
Yeah.
big guy? What kind of dad joke you got?
You know what you call the fear of giants?
I don't.
Nah.
Fee-fi-phobia.
Phobia.
There you go.
That's really nice.
a
I
good
like
one.
that.
I
one.
was nowhere close on that. Nowhere close.
I got one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you call a magician who loses his magic?
Oh boy. No clue.
Ian.
I didn't think about that for 1 second. And I was like, I get it now.
I don't get it,
That's
but now I
good.
get it.
That's really good.
That's like Joe Grenade.
Right.
Well, so
So those haven't been used yet?
no, those are two originals.
Those are
way to go.
both-
Nice work, man.
Both really solid jokes.
Good.
So Liv and I were talking the other day, and she was asking me if I had seen the Dog Bowl, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think so. I never knew he did.
That was a strike.
How did
right there.
That was a strike. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that was lame.
That was
as hell,
good.
But I
No.
loved it. I thought that one was really good.
That was good. That was. I mean, yeah.
Do you have another
I'll
joke
see
you
it.
could spare?
Oh.
Ooh, man. How about this guy?
We'll just keep this going.
Yes, man.
And Matthew Simpson needed to
I-
just get in a room and
Dude,
ping pong off each
there's
other.
an idea.
Matthew had so many of them just like during the episode.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
There's an idea. Have past guest joke off.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
like it.
We've also had the idea that we want to do like a Decent Dads reunion where we bring everybody in
Nice.
one place.
That'd be cool.
And we'll have the camera running in one
Yeah.
corner. We'll have the microphones going. Everybody bring a dad joke. And
Yeah.
we'll ask
Nice.
everybody the same question.
Yeah.
And we'll
Dude.
try to cut that up into an episode too. But
Love it.
Yeah.
the dad joke off might be pretty good.
That's
I
good.
know.
You
I
should
like
do
that.
like a Decent Dads like event where
Yeah.
like people could bring their kids.
Yeah.
I think,
All
yeah,
that
Yep.
stuff.
we've
Yeah, we
talked
talked
about
about
that too. For
Talked
sure.
about that.
What about you, DC? What about dad joke? What dad joke do you have? Excuse me.
Well, did you guys hear about the constipated mathematician?
That's a mouthful. No.
I know. I almost like fumbled when I was saying.
The delivery was very
Solid.
good.
It was
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. I really tried to enunciate there. But I'm assuming you guys didn't hear about him. But that's okay, because he worked it out with a pencil.
Oh my god.
That's terrible.
That is vile.
That's terrible. I thought that was a really good one.
Solid. No, it's solid.
Like I
But-
said, I don't know. Is that dad joke, uncle joke, in between?
I don't know. Holy shit.
Oh, there it
All
is.
right, sorry.
There
That was
it
as far as we're gonna get.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So,
Gosh.
so I would be remiss if we didn't at least talk about the internets a little bit here.
Internets, plural.
We
Yeah.
are quickly approaching. At time of recording, we are just shy of 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. Which
Let's go.
Yeah.
super
Nice.
excited about.
Nice.
And we're still putting out the shorts, and we're still working on getting with Spotify. Or excuse me, we're already on Spotify. We're working on getting the Apple thing set up.
Yep.
We finally decided that we're actually going to try to overcome that hurdle because it's
That's
more of
right.
a pain than I wanted it to be. And Derek and I decided that it's probably a good place for us to be as
Yeah.
well. So for all the viewers out there, thank you very much. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you. Please don't forget to do the liking, the sharing, the subscribing, all the social media jazz, and give us your dad jokes in the comments. Give us your dad hacks so we can steal them ruthlessly, and then we'll make sure to like shout you out and stuff. But we're definitely
Oh, 100,
steal
yeah, 100%.
and use them on the show.
We'll give you credit.
I do have one more thing to say. Way to go, decent dad.
Thank you.
Well to go. Good job, buddy.
There you go.
Thanks.
So unless anybody else has anything else,
I got nothing.
Bueller.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey,
Thanks
thanks
a
for
lot.
hopping on, Aaron.
Yeah,
This has been
absolutely.
a great
Thank you
time.
very much. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
Oh, how'd you see that?
Because it's written right there.
Wait, did you get that from me?
No, I got it from the internet. The same place you did, probably.
Oh, we have the same joke?
No, I've got 5
What are the
jokes in
odds?
here, but I just noticed yours. I just noticed you had it written down.
Well, act surprised.